When most people think about Fort Wayne, Indiana, they picture cornfields, old factories, and a struggling Midwest city. But what if I told you there were neighborhoods here that honestly rival some of the nicest suburbs in all of America? You can learn a lot about a city, about following where the growth went, and here in Fort Wayne, it moved southwest. Right behind me, we have Lutheran Hospital, one of the biggest hospital networks here in town, and the anchor to all the growth here on the southwest side of town. Now, what's interesting about this area, it's not really old Midwest money. This isn't massive historic estates that have been here for 100 years. This is newer suburban growth. Doctors, business owners, executives, entrepreneurs, families that wanted more space, fewer homes, better schools, golf communities. Golf is huge here, and a quieter lifestyle. And over the last 20 years, Southwest Fort Wayne has absolutely exploded. When you start driving through the neighborhoods like Bridgewater, you immediately feel it. Big custom homes, wide streets, golf course views, beautiful landscaping. This is the kind of neighborhood that people move into after they built success locally. It feels polished, but still livable. And honestly, this area feels way newer and more modern than what a lot of people picture when they think about Indiana. Then you got areas like Chestnut Hills. This is one of the neighborhoods that really helped define upscale suburban living in Fort Wayne. Golf community lifestyle, large luxury homes, ponds, curved roads, private feel. A lot of people outside the Midwest have no idea that neighborhoods like this even exist here. And that's what surprises people most about Fort Wayne. The city quietly built some really nice suburban communities without a lot of national attention. And then of course there's Sycamore Hills. This is probably one of the strongest visual signs of wealth in the entire city. It feels private, quiet, tucked away. This is where you start realizing Southwest Fort Wayne doesn't really feel small town anymore. It feels established, professional, affluent. And the crazy part is, compared to larger cities around the country, homes in areas like this can still feel relatively affordable for what you're getting. Younger, affluent families are gravitating towards these areas because they want newer construction and modern suburban living without the chaos and pricing of major metro areas. That's what's bringing a lot of the growth around here. And honestly, the Covington corridor tells the whole story, because when cities grow, the roads tell you where it's happening. You've got shopping, restaurants, medical offices, retail, schools, traffic circles, expanding infrastructure. Everything about this area says growth. This became one of those places where families realize, wait a second, we could have both a great home, great schools, nice amenities, and still not deal with massive city congestion. That's a huge reason why people are moving here. And another huge reason why Southwest Fort Wayne took off is its healthcare. Lutheran Hospital and the entire medical corridor out here created a massive demand for higher income jobs. Doctors, specialists, executives, medical reps. That demand naturally phased housing growth outward into these Southwest communities. And then of course, schools play a huge role here too. And Fort Wayne school districts absolutely shape growth. A lot of families specifically target Southwest Allen County because of the reputation of the schools, athletics, and suburban family environment. And honestly, I think that's what makes Southwest Fort Wayne so interesting. The area represents the evolution of the city itself. Fort Wayne went from being viewed as an old industrial Midwest town to becoming a modern suburban family city with real momentum. And if you want to understand where that transformation happened, you're looking right at it. Here's something people from outside Indiana don't understand about Fort Wayne. This city does not feel cheap anymore. And I don't mean unaffordable. I mean the level of development, money, growth, and lifestyle here has changed dramatically. 10 years ago, parts of Fort Wayne felt behind. Today, some areas feel completely transformed. Right behind me, we have Homestead High School. Man, this place is a powerhouse on the southwest side of Fort Wayne. It's not only in sports, but also in academics. You can feel the money moving in Fort Wayne. And not just one neighborhood anymore. You're seeing it spread across Southwest Fort Wayne, Northwest Allen County, the hospital corridors, and even parts of downtown. Luxury builds that used to feel rare, now they're everywhere. Years ago, when people thought of Fort Wayne real estate, they thought affordable Midwest housing. And yes, compared to places like Nashville, Dallas, Denver, or Florida, it still is very affordable. But the style of home being built now, that's completely changed. You're now seeing modern architecture, high-end finishes, massive custom kitchens, luxury outdoor living spaces, and million-dollar homes are no longer shocking here. That's a huge shift for Fort Wayne. One thing I always tell people is watch the parking lots. The cars here in Fort Wayne today tell a very different story from what they did 15 years ago. There's more executive money here, more healthcare money, and you can tell it just by riding around town. And then you can look at the retail growth. Places like Jefferson Point completely changed the vibe of the city. It made Fort Wayne feel more modern, more walkable, more lifestyle driven. And now you're seeing more boutique retail, upscale restaurants, luxury apartments, apartment projects, new shopping centers, and developments that honestly don't even feel like the Midwest anymore. This is what happens when a city quietly grows for 20 years straight. No national headlines, no flashy attention, just healthcare expansion, business development, suburban expansion, and families with money deciding to stay. That combination slowly changes the city. I think that's the biggest misconception about Fort Wayne. People picture an old Rust Belt city that stopped evolving, but when actually you drive around today, you see modern neighborhoods, luxury homes, and serious economic growth. And honestly, some parts of Fort Wayne don't even feel small town anymore at all. All right, guys, just a little personal note here. This place behind me changed my life. This is the Chapel Church. Over here on the southwest side, this is where I first started walking with the Lord. And for me, it was transformational. I know everybody has their own beliefs, but I like to share my testimony. And this place over here on the southwest side was certainly a very special part of my life and my walk with Jesus. And an absolutely incredible church. If you're a churchgoer, you definitely want to check out this church. My name is John. People call me Mr. 260. You can reach me anytime at 260-308-6100 or Mr.260team at gmail.com. Now, we do service this area. Buying a home is probably one of the most expensive investments you make. We try and serve our people with dignity and respect and ultimately the Lord's guidance to give them the best possible shot at landing smoothly on their feet, because we all know when you make a house built on rock, it's meant to last. All right, let's get to our next selection. Okay, so here's the part where a lot of people across the country are starting to realize that you don't have to live in a massive city to have an incredible life anymore. And honestly, the realization is changing places like Fort Wayne, the fastest growing city in the Midwest. For years, people chased major metro areas because that's where opportunities were. But something shifted. People started asking themselves, why am I paying so much for so much stress? Fort Wayne sits in this really interesting sweet spot. You still have hospitals, strong healthcare, good business opportunities, solid schools, shopping, restaurants, sports, entertainment, and infrastructure, but you don't have the same level of chaos, no traffic, and that matters more than people think. You can actually enjoy your family life here, and that's a huge detail. You're not sitting in 2-hour traffic every day. You're not spending your entire paycheck just to exist. You're not constantly fighting crowds everywhere you go. There's breathing room here, and families feel that immediately. This is where Fort Wayne really becomes attractive for higher income families. Your money just goes further here. You know, we're over here by Sycamore Hills. People are probably wondering, what is the initiation fee? What does that look like? $20,000 for Sycamore Hills. That is the nicest private golf club here. There's other ones here locally that you can get into for $6,000 that are country clubs. So, you know, if you're coming from a big city and you're like me, where the entry is $100,000 down in Florida, $6,000 sounds really intriguing, especially for a really nice golf course with a pool attached. In fact, Tony Romo just played one of the courses that I played here this week. You could build an incredible life here without destroying yourself financially. You could have a beautiful custom home, great schools, country clubs, space for your kids. It's a safe neighborhood and high-end lifestyle without needing billionaire money. And financially, Indiana makes sense for a lot of people. People coming from places like California, Illinois, Colorado, New York, or parts of Florida, they look at what their money buys there compared to here, and they're absolutely shocked. And honestly, I don't even think it's just about the money anymore. I think people are craving peace and a life that actually feels sustainable. And Fort Wayne quietly delivers a lot on all of that. You know, I think the definition of success is starting to change. For a long time, success meant living in the biggest city possible. But now, for a lot of families, success looks more like freedom, ownership, flexibility, community, and quality of life. I honestly think that's why more people with money are quietly moving to places like this. Not because they have to, but because they want to. They realize something important. A luxury life isn't just about flashy buildings and expensive zip codes. It's about how your life actually feels every day. And Fort Wayne delivers a lifestyle that surprises a lot of people once they experience it for themselves. I think this is the part about Fort Wayne that surprises people the most. The family lifestyle here is really good. And honestly, that's the secret sauce. One thing you'll notice quickly about the nicer parts of Fort Wayne, kids are outside again. Bikes, scooters, kids playing tag. You see bikes in driveways, basketball hoops everywhere, kids running between houses, families walking at night. And for a lot of people, that feels nostalgic now. In a lot of bigger cities, people barely know their neighbors anymore. But in Fort Wayne, you still have neighborhoods that actually feel like communities. And the sports culture is absolutely huge here. And honestly, I think that matters most than people realize. Families rally around sports in this city. You got the Tin Cats baseball, you got Comets hockey, and that creates community. There's still this Midwest connection here where people show up for each other. It feels connected. And one of the biggest things, the chaos level is lower. That changes your entire quality of life. You're not constantly battling insane traffic, overcrowding, aggressive commutes, impossible parking, or nonstop stress. Life here feels a little bit more manageable, and families feel that difference immediately. One thing I noticed since I've been here is the lack of road rage. There's not a lot of road rage here. People don't get mad. People are actually still polite drivers, which is amazing because, you know, in certain areas that I've lived at in the last couple of years, it's been pretty nutty. Memphis was crazy. You didn't even want to yell at anybody. You're scared to get shot. And down on the beach, people just aren't very polite. But over here, people let you get in front of them. They're like, well, what is this wave that you're giving to me? Oh, you let me go ahead of you? Absolutely amazing. The trail system here is honestly underrated. You can bike for miles throughout the different parts of the city, 120 miles of bikeable trails here. And that outdoor accessibility changes family life. People are outside more, kids are active more, families spend more time together. Now, obviously, every city has areas that are better than others, but the family-oriented suburbs around Fort Wayne have become really attractive because people feel safe there, and safety changes everything. Right now, I'm in beautiful Jefferson Point, as you can see around me. Beautiful. I mean, this is an outdoor mall area, and I feel completely safe out here. You know, safety changes everything. The one thing that really irked us when we left here, we moved directly to Memphis when we left here, and man, that was crazy. My business did great in Memphis, but the crime was so bad, man. Like, I felt like I couldn't go out anywhere. Every time you leave someplace, you got to lock your doors. That doesn't feel the same here. Now, there are certain areas that I would definitely lock my door in, but you know, areas like this at Jefferson Point, they feel a really nice, peaceful vibe here. You're not going to feel scared to walk around with your kids and go shopping, and that's huge.
You know what's funny? I had to leave Fort Wayne to actually appreciate Fort Wayne. And I think a lot of people who grew up here feel that way as well. When you grow up somewhere, sometimes you stop seeing it clearly. You focus on what it doesn't have instead of appreciating what it actually does have. When we moved to Florida, I honestly thought I had life figured out. And don't get me wrong, I love Florida. The beaches are incredible, the weather's beautiful, there's excitement everywhere, but something interesting happened after living away for a while. I started seeing Fort Wayne differently. You know, I think Southwest Fort Wayne represents something a lot of families across America are looking for right now. It's successful without feeling overwhelming. It's growing without chaos. And it gives families access to lifestyle that would cost dramatically more in a lot of other places around the country. When people think about wealth, they usually picture massive cities, but honestly, there's a different kind of wealth here. It's the wealth of time with your family, less stress, safer neighborhoods, community, peace, and room to breathe. And I think that's why Southwest Fort Wayne keeps growing, because once people experience this lifestyle, it's hard to ignore. When you're younger, you chase excitement, but when you mature, you start chasing peace, and that's what it's all about. If you're chasing peace and you're looking for a better life, I'd love to talk to you. My name is John. People call me Mr. 260. You can reach out anytime at 260-308-6100 or reach me at Mr.260team@gmail.com. All right, guys, great talking to you. If you like this video, please check out some of my other videos on Fort Wayne. You can check this one out right here. You'll love it. Hey, until next time, God bless you and your family. We'll see you next time.